And I guess we are on. And we are on for another masterclass. Hello, everyone. This time we have an amazing masterclass planned for you. We are going to talk about the OutSystems UI plugin. And today we have our masterclass expert, besides being our tech lead at High Interactive, Pedro Oliveira. He's here with us. And we also have a very special guest today. We have Inês Silva from OutSystems. She is an UI expert, and she is here to talk about the OutSystems UI plugin. This is a work that High Interactive has made with OutSystems, and that she is going to also talk about it. So what we have planned for today, besides the introduction to this special guest that I have mentioned before, we are also going to dig deep in this OutSystems UI plugin, talking about the versions in which it is available, the challenges, and also providing a demo at the end. So without further to add, hello, Inês, how are you? Let's talk a little bit about the OutSystems UI plugin.
Hello, João. Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for introducing me. So, one question to start with: why the plugins? And I will start answering this question to telling the story by the beginning. So, OutSystems' mission is to give every organization the power to innovate through software. And through software, we know that agility, speed, and productivities are very important things. And our platform aims to help product teams to improve that with our platform. And so that the product team can design, develop, and launch an application in days or weeks. Actually, a wide range of skill set is needed to go through all these steps that I just described. And oftentimes, what is hard to solve are the interaction between all these team members with different roles in the teams that actually produce software. So these plugins that Pedro is going to present today were a way to fill in that gap, to help product teams with designers and developers to communicate better and faster.
That's true. At least throughout the years that I've been doing some front end, not just in OutSystems, the communication between front end and UI design or UX design is always difficult. That's true.
I won't say difficult, I would say challenging.
It's challenging, yes. But I agree with you 100%. So, hello. I start talking before saying hello. João, can I go
yeah,
on?
you can. Yeah, you can now talk a little bit more about the OutSystems UI plugin, starting by the design kits. What you have to say about it?
Yeah, basically, when we start talking with OutSystems, basically we try to define what were the main goals for this project that built the UI plugins, the OutSystems UI plugin. So the first goal that we put on the table was, okay, we want to create the plugins, but we also want to grab this opportunity and improve the UI design kits that we already have. And by that time, the only ones available were the OutSystems UI design kits for Sketch and for Figma. Okay, and since Adobe XD it's gaining some terrain on the design community, we wanted to also have available for the OutSystems community the design kit for Adobe XD. And on top of everything, we want, as I said, we want to make some improvements on update what we already have on the design kit, and we also wanted to grab the opportunity to add more screens to the design kits that we already have. So when we finish this first task, when we review the design kits, it was time to start thinking about the UI plugins. So basically, there was a couple of prerequisites when we start this project. Being the first one, we wanted to, as Ines said, since the goal was to try to ease the communication between designers and UI developers or front-end developers, we wanted to show in the same place, and in the end, I'm going to give you a demonstration on how the plugins, how can you interact with the plugins, but we wanted to show things like the spacing rules, shadows, font sizes. We wanted to show the brand colors and extend colors all in the same place, so we can grab everything and generate CSS that can be used right away in a project and apply to a theme in the project. So it would be easier for the front-end developers or to the designers to give front-end developers some code already developed, generated by the plugins. So it would be easier for them to communicate. On top of this, we also wanted, and we talked about this in the beginning, that it would be cool to be possible to edit the colors, and not just the colors, some other values from the document, the UI document, directly from the plugin. Okay, this was a huge challenge in particular. So the first plugin that we start with was Sketch. Okay, so we end up having a plugin fully customizable for Sketch in terms of UI. It's capable of showing some properties like spacing, typography properties, brand colors, and basically all the variables that OutSystems has. So with this, the plugin can generate all the CSS variables that we can apply on the theme that we are going to use to create an application. We can save or copy the CSS that is generated, and on top of everything, we applied a dark mode. Okay, this is cool because Sketch API allow us to automatically, based on the settings that the Mac OS operating system, right? If we have defined the dark mode in the operating system, we have kind of a flag inside the plugin, and we can apply a different CSS. So we have dark mode and light mode. Everybody loves dark mode usually. So after the Sketch plugin was done, we start working on the Figma plugin. Okay, and then again, a different API, different. The document had a different structure, different rules. So we start exploring this. So then again, we end up with a plugin that it's basically capable of showing all the colors, brands, extended colors, all the variables like styles for the font, spacing, shadows, all of that. Again, we generate the CSS root variables and some CSS for the theme. So things like change the border radius for the buttons, for the alerts components, all of that. We can save that CSS, and the Figma plugin allows us to directly change a color from the document within the plugin. Okay, I'm going to show you this cool feature. Okay, So basically, we can, inside the plugin, we can click on, for example, the primary color. We can select a different color, and this action will update the variable in the Figma document. Finally, after finish the Figma file, the Figma plugin, sorry, we start working on the Adobe XD plugin. Okay, this was cool because since this was based in a newly created design kit, because OutSystems was something that didn't exist by that time. So then again, the plugin can show all the colors and other CSS properties, generate CSS, all of that. And we can copy the CSS generated and use the CSS in a theme to be applied in an application. So nothing new here. Okay, so as you probably were able to understand, that is that the plugins are very different in terms of UI. Well, not very, but quite different in terms of UI, and they have different features. And basically, this is justified because we are talking about three different tools with different APIs, with different document structures. So it was quite a challenge for us to try to make the plugins consistent, not just in terms of UI, but also in terms of features. All right. So basically, the main challenges that we faced were learning three very different APIs, but luckily for the three of the APIs, the documentation that exists, the official documentation is quite good. Okay, for Sketch and for Figma, the community have more information. In terms of Adobe XD, there is not a large community, so we can go there and try to look for ways to solve a problem. But for Sketch and for Figma, it's quite easier. The community is bigger. So with this, we found three very, very different ways of creating the plugin. We discovered that not all the features we were not able to implement all the same features in all the three plugins. And basically, since we didn't want to have three completely different look and feels for the plugins, but on top of this, we also want to give the feeling to the user that this plugin belongs to this tool. Okay, so for example, Figma, we applied basically some UI principles and rules from the Figma tool, and the same for Sketch, and the same for Adobe XD. So they end up with slight changes between them, the UI differences, but overall they basically we can identify that we are looking at the same plugin for a different tool. So in terms of Sketch, the plugin basically is running inside a pop-up. Okay, it's a separated web view or something like this, and there are some limitations in terms of API. We weren't able to implement all the features that we want, and the communication between the API or between the document and the plugin is quite tricky to deal with. I can share that before I end up with the best solution to go to the document, retrieve information. It was very difficult. I tried a couple of times different ways of doing this, and in the end I was able to do so, but it's tricky to begin to someone that don't know a lot about the API. It's quite tricky in the beginning. About Figma, the problem with Figma is, well, the plugin runs inside the same page as the Figma itself. Okay, it's basically JavaScript, HTML, CSS. It's everything is in the same place. But the problem is that the API, or the way the plugin is generated, it blocks some JavaScript basic functions. And by discovering this, we start seeing that we weren't able to implement all the features that we want in the beginning. And one thing that is a little annoying is, and I don't know the reason why this simply is not allowed, is the communication between the document and the plugin. It's not automatic. Okay, so if I change something in the document, the document is not going to alert the plugin that something was changed. Okay, so for example, in Sketch, if I change the primary color, the plugin is going to refresh the value. I don't need to force a refresh of the values. In Figma, if I change the primary color, I need to go to the plugin, hit a button to perform a rescan of the properties and update what I am seeing on the plugin. Okay. And this also happens on Adobe XD. Okay. The challenge, one of the biggest challenge here to build the Adobe XD plugin was that the HTML needs to be generated entirely using JavaScript. Some CSS properties were not allowed to be used. Quite funny. I don't know exactly why, but there were a couple of CSS properties that I wasn't able to use. Then again, if the document that I'm seeing, that I'm creating, if the UI developer changed something there, the plugin is not automatically updated. I need to force the rescan of the properties that I'm using. And my experience here was that it's slower than Sketch or Figma. Okay, grabbing the values is a slower process than the previous plugins. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a small demonstration on Figma and
demo time.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be able to perform a demonstration on Sketch because I have the Mac here, so it's not connected to this presentation. But if you are a Mac user, you can try the plugin. Okay. So for the Figma, let me grab here the other. Okay. So for the Figma, what you need to do is to start by downloading the. If you go to basically to the OutSystems UI resources page, you will have available links for the 3 design kits. So if you download the Figma design kit, and if you open it, you will see something like this. So just to make sure that the document that you are seeing is compatible with the plugins, if it is, you will see this small tag here at the top saying this document is compatible with the OutSystems UI plugin. So all you have to do is basically go to the menu and start the plugin. All right. So we have the plugin here. As you can see, it was very quick to scan the document through to get all the values that we can see here. Things like typography, primary and secondary colors, the spacing rules, the height of the header that is defined here on the layout, all the colors, the neutral, semantic, the extended palette colors, the base ones. So everything it's here, okay? And it's reading the values from the document, okay? So, for example, before going to the fun part, here at the bottom, you will see that it's going to generate all the CSS variables for OutSystems UI. Okay, everything is here. So if you have your theme and you want to apply on top of the theme that OutSystems UI already have, you want to apply these changes, you just need to copy the CSS and place the CSS on a theme that is going to consume the OutSystems UI theme. Okay, and the same applies for CSS theme variables. Basically, what we will see here, I don't know why it's not opening. Basically, it crashed. I don't know why. Obviously. Cool. Okay, it's working. So basically, this is going to generate not the variables, but it's kind of the same code that is being generated by the theme editor on Service Studio. Okay, if you know Service Studio, you know there's a tool there that allows you to kind of automatically generate code based on some definitions that you have there available. So basically what we are seeing here is an implementation of the theme editor from OutSystems Service Studio. Okay, we are changing some component styles based on the values that we are seeing here. Okay, and you can use this CSS where you need it. The cool part, the cool side of the plugin for Figma is that, let me go back. Let me go here to styles. So here in the styles, in the brand palette, I can go here to my plugin, click on the image that over the image, and I can change the color. Okay. For example, this strange green, and my document is going to be updated directly from my plugin. So if you go, for example, to the accordion, you can see that everything is greenish, or for example, the buttons. So all these colors that we have here, I can edit these colors directly from the plugin, which is a cool feature here. All right. About the plugin for Adobe XD, what you need to do is, then again, you have in the OutSystems UI resources pages, you can download the file here. You open the file in your computer. And if you have the plugin already downloaded, I'm going to show you next how can you do this. You will have here an option to plugins. You go to the OutSystems UI plugin, you start the plugin. It's going to take a while to load all the values, but in time it's going to load everything. So as you can see, you have some sections here. Then again, you have the primary, secondary, you have the palette, the semantic palette, border radius. You have basically the same values that you saw on Figma. The thing is, it's very, very complicated. I'm not going to say impossible because I was able to, but it's very difficult. I can change the color here, but to apply the color to the entire document, without going into many details here, the way Adobe XD works, it's basically if a button is assigned to a specific asset, for example, the brand primary, if I change this brand primary value using the plugin, all the elements on the design that are connected to the original value, for example, this blue value, they are going to lose this connection because they work based on the value and not a unique key that identifies the value. They are connected through the value itself. So if I change the value, it's not going to be possible anymore to automatically update the component, buttons, accordions, and all of the OutSystems UI components. So this is the main reason why this is not, it's possible, but it's very, 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 very tricky. So then again, all the variables are here to be used. So yeah, it's here the plugins are incorporated directly inside the application. Okay. So yeah, then again you have an about page to see some more details. But as you can see, it's basically the same features, but with a slightly different UI. Okay, more close to the overall look and feel of the application. Right. So to install the plugin for Sketch, it's probably the trickiest one to the installation process. So you need to go to the Sketch extensions website and look for OutSystems UI. Basically, the plugins are all in a GitHub project. So for example, here, if I go here to the extensions page for plugins, if I look for OutSystems, it will be visible here, the results. And this is going to redirect me to the GitHub project where the plugin is placed. And then we have some installation guides here. Basically, you will download the project, we'll unzip it, and double click on this file here. And that's it. It's not very user-friendly, but that's the way it works. Luckily, Figma and Adobe XD, it's easier. So, for example, Figma, you can go to the community page of Figma and look for OutSystems UI plugins. So, for example, let me go here. Okay. So you have your menu here on the Figma, probably you already know. You go to community, and then you search for the plugin, and you will see it here. You just need to hit try it out, and it's going to be installed, and you can start using with the right UI, OutSystems UI Design Kit version. The process for the Adobe XD, it's kind of the same, but the difference is Adobe XD is running on a native application. So you need to go to the Creative Cloud application, go to the Stock Markets option at the top, and then look for OutSystems UI plugins. So if I, where is it? Here. So you have your Creative Cloud. You go to Stock Market, look for plugins. You will find the OutSystems UI plugin here. You can see some information here, and you can click here on the button saying Get, and the plugin is going to be installed in your Adobe XD application. So it's not complicated at all. It's user-friendly. That's fine. So yeah, that's all we wanted to share with you. I believe you will have the links for all the 3 plugins.
The links will be down below on the description of this video.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope you are willing to experiment this plugin. We have some ideas to improve what we already have. So yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And
Thanks a lot.
Most importantly, if I can ask this, if anyone here is interested in trying out the plugins, we are very open to receive feedback and improve it accordingly, and along the way people are using it as well.
Yeah, then again, if you go to OutSystems UI web page, you will have a page in the same page where you can download the UI design documents. You have the links for the plugins there. So it's all in the same place. It's quite easy.
Yeah. So with that being said, I want to thank you too for this great presentation. I hope the people at home got it right and know now how to use them and how important they are. And that's it. I also want to remind you that we are planning on doing much more masterclasses like this with a lot of special guests too. And with that being said, I just wanted to remind you to drop a like on this video and share it as much as you can. And that's it. Thanks a lot.
Right, everybody. Thank you. Ines, thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Ines.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
No problem. Every time you want.
Every time you want, yeah.